Hey guys, what is going on? It is December 31st, so happy New Year's Eve. It is the last day of 2016. Today is my final workout of 2016. It is going to be a leg and glute day. I'm also putting my friend Allison through a workout. She's kind of asked me to help her. She does like a lot of classes and stuff in the city. She doesn't lift. So we are starting to work with her just a few times a week. So we are off to do that. And then tonight I actually have plans for New Year's Eve, which never ever happens. I'm going with her and a couple other friends to Jersey, and we get to dress up, which I love dressing up. You might not know it because I don't seem like the girliest girl, but I do love to dress up. I'm really excited to go out tonight and ring in the new year with my friends. So let's go because I'm gonna be late. Story of my life. Here at New York Sports Club with Allie. We're just warming up right now on the treadmill just for like 5-10 minutes or something like that. I don't know if you guys can hear me, it's kind of loud in here. And then, like I said before, we are doing a leg and glute day. Let's do it. Hey guys, so before we get into the workout, I just wanted to hit a few major points about foam rolling because it's a huge part of my warm-up routine, and I think it's really important for anybody who does any sort of exercise to really try to incorporate foam rolling into their warm-up routine. So the first point of it is the slower the better. You can see here I'm killing my IT bands slowly. If you go too quickly, you'll miss the tight spots and the knots in your muscles that need to be released. So when you find a knot, sit on it and breathe into it until it releases. It also has a healing effect because essentially it's self-massage. So when you stimulate the blood flow to the soft tissue, it means more oxygen is being delivered to the rolled out areas, and therefore any injuries or sore spots are more likely to heal faster than if you don't foam roll. It's also really great for spinal mobility. You can see here I'm doing a stretch that my weightlifting coach taught me. And especially if you have a desk job or a job where you sit all day, thoracic spinal mobility can get really tight, and so it can cause tension in your neck, in your shoulders, in your lower back, and your hips, and cause all sorts of problems. So it's really great for stretching out your back. Here I'm just doing a hip opening stretch, just again to warm up my hips. My hips are very tight because I sit a lot. And here I'm stretching out my hamstrings, and here I'm doing another. This stretch works my hips and my quads actually, so it's good for stretching both areas. And then just doing some leg swings to get the blood flowing. The exercise we started with first were hip thrusts, and these are shown to be the best glute development exercise, but they also require the entire thigh musculature to do this movement. So it's a really just great lower body workout, but it's best for the glutes. You want to make sure you place the bar in the crease of your hip and use a bar pad or a yoga mat like we did here to protect your hip bones, but make sure you keep your shoulders down. Don't shrug your shoulders up while you're doing this exercise. Keep your shoulders down, your lats tight, and bring your feet towards your butt so that when you thrust, your shins are vertical or as close to vertical as possible. I like to keep my toes slightly turned out to feel the activation in my glutes, but you can turn your toes out or keep them straight. And just make sure you're really using mind-muscle connection when doing this exercise. Focus on using your glutes to move the weight and squeeze the glutes at the top of the movement without overextending your back. Up next we have dumbbell Romanian deadlifts, and this exercise especially, but with all exercises, I'm really trying to have Allie focus on her form because she's so new, so she's really unfamiliar with a lot of these movements. So the main points of this Romanian deadlift that I'm having her focus on are making sure she's using her hips to hinge back instead of using her back to bend over. You want to push your hips back as you're going down, and you want to keep the weight as close to your body as possible. Don't let it get too far ahead of you. And then also keeping her lats tight and squeezing her glutes at the top of the movement. You can see that she still has some form issues to work on, mostly keeping her head neutral instead of looking up at herself in the mirror, not locking her knees,
and not overextending her back. So you can see here, I'm really focused on squeezing my glutes at the top, but not letting myself lean backwards when I hit the top, because that's how you can put a lot of pressure on your lower back. We were also keeping everything in the 10 to 12 rep range today, 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12.
It's two-faced, and every word we said is nothing we could change.
Next we moved on to the glute kickback machine, which was exciting for me because we don't have one of these at my gym. So really, again, focus on keeping the tension in the glutes, make sure you're squeezing at the top, and make sure you're using your core to keep your hips in line so that your hips don't rotate out as you're kicking back. And you want to make sure you don't overextend your lower back by trying to kick as high as you can. If you squeeze the glute at the top of the movement and keep your core tight, it will protect your lower back.
So please say.
Next we moved on to the leg press, which gets a bad rap, but it's actually a good exercise for beginners for muscular development. It has minimal stability requirements and therefore allows for maximal loading. So you can focus on the muscles being recruited and not having to worry necessarily about balance or secondary muscles, like if you were to do a barbell squat, for example. And it's also really good for your cardiovascular system because it gets your heart rate up. It definitely does, even for me, and I've been lifting solidly for 2 years now. The main thing you want to focus on when you do this exercise is not to lock your knees. It's incredibly dangerous, and so we really focused on that with Allie.
Getting out of there was a nightmare because we stupidly went to a gym that was right in Midtown on New Year's Eve because everything is all blocked off for the ball to drop and everything tonight. I do not envy New York City police today. They have a very difficult job ahead of them. Anyway, I finally got out of there, so now I'm just waiting for the train home, and I will make some food, and then shower and get ready for tonight. We made it to Brianna's for New Year's Eve. Everybody looks good. Champagne for my real friends. Real pain for my sham friends.